This is something that a lot of learners of Spanish struggle with. Well, in fact, not a lot of, but some native speakers of Spanish struggle with this as well. So it's not easy. I'm talking about conditionals, like would, should, all that stuff. And this is the best way to learn it. If you try to learn it with grammar exercises and things like that, it's going to be boring, long, ineffective, and they're probably never going to learn to use it well. And if you try to learn it through the usual method of, well, usual in my learning system of using language islands or mass sentences or both, the problem there is that these forms are not all that common, so you won't see it all that often, so you won't practice it very often. So this is one of the few things that you should, once you get to like a B level, you should practice it separately, because maybe one out of a couple hundred sentences in the mass sentence list is one of these. So it's not enough. You don't see it very often and you won't learn it well. So instead, what I recommend is taking this list where you have 3,000, not 3,000, like not even I would do that, 300 conditionals in Spanish. So if I had time, I would travel more. Si tuviera tiempo, viajaría más. I'd love to go with you if I could. Me encantaría ir contigo si pudiera. Si estudiaras más, aprobarías el examen. You get the idea. You learn this form by simply learning this list. It's not that long of a list, 300 sentences. This is what, 10, 15 minutes of audio. You listen to the audio file over and over again. You shadow it. Yeah. You, with this in front of you, you listen to it and repeat alongside it over and over and over again, start to finish, the whole list. In fact, you don't have to do it that much, because if you do the whole list start to finish once or twice, like 15 minutes a day for a week, and you know the list. And finally, you do active recall. You read the sentences in English. You try to say it in Spanish. Yeah, how do I say? If I lived nearby, I would visit you every day. Si viviera cerca, te visitaría todos los días. Yeah, si viviera cerca. De tuvieras, era, haría. These two forms are quite confusing for English speakers. So even for Spanish speakers, some of them. So some people say like, because this is the, like, if I did that, I would something, right? But people would say things like si viviría cerca, which is this form here as well. They use this form in both. They do things like that. So a lot of native speakers use this wrong. I know a lot of them. You can immediately tell, like, people who read books don't use it wrong, but you can immediately tell who reads books and who doesn't. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they just read them, but they don't pay attention. I don't know why it happens, but I'm not an expert in that, and that's probably that's probably something that some social linguistics, language Jones type of activist type will find some study about that. But yeah, you get the idea. You translate from English into Spanish. Check. You made a mistake. Okay, tomorrow you try again, same sentences over and over until you get them wrong. Right. You, you'll get them wrong the first time until you stop getting them wrong. Or for the most part. Again, this is not super important. If you do this wrong, it's not very common, so it's not a huge problem. But if you want to get to a C level, you need to learn this. So once you've learned your language islands and you're able to have nice conversations and all that, and you want to keep improving, I highly recommend you learn this list, among other things, the subjunctive and all of that. All right, but if you're starting from scratch, focus on language islands and mass sentences for conversation, and make sure you're able to understand more or less and have a conversation. You're able to say what you want to say. This is this is after that. This is for when you want to get really good, right?